on the ground. I'm not coming down. I want to go higher, higher, higher than that.
Welcome back to the Business is Human podcast. I'm your host, Rebecca Fleetwood Hession, and we're here to bring you episodes that blend meaningful work with profitable success. Here to steward what I call the age of humanity. I believe if we transform the way we work, we can transform the way that we live. As always, my friendly request, if you like what you hear, hit subscribe so you don't miss any episode, and leave a review to tell the other humans that they might like it too. Always looking to help you and connect with others. All right, let's get into it, shall we? Happy New Year. Okay, we decided how long we say Happy New Year. Is it the first 2 weeks? Is it all month? Has that been settled? Because I need to know. Hey, I want to share a story with you today that has been so inspiring for me and several of my clients that I thought, you know what? I'm just going to hit record and see if it's inspiring for others as they kick off their new year. It's the concept of we pray for lots of big things in our lives or the 911 emergencies that happen. But what I have discovered over the last few years, and I'm getting better and better at it all the time, is praying for the day-to-day business stuff. Literally, what software should I use for my accounting? What I'm getting ready to go into a client meeting. Lord, what do you want me to say and hear? And being more intentional about knowing that God wants my life to be great all the time and not just solve the big problems or get me out of issues, 911 style. And so this story is something that happened in the last week with me that has just really been beautiful. So I have had a lot of what is called spiritual opposition or warfare over the last few years over some of my taxes and accounting, which makes sense as a business owner that if you're going to get any kind of opposition, it would be in your money making. And the book I'm writing right now about the intersection of business, brain, and Bible will really dig into this a lot more. But I have been working to find good partners, tax people, accountants that are trustworthy, that I can build a relationship with to help with this. And so just to give you an example, and this is harsh, but it's the depth of this story that I need you to know from a context perspective, is about 4 years ago, the person who I just hired to do my taxes to move me from an LLC to an S Corp, tragically passed away in the middle of the process. And I couldn't access any of my accounts because he had changed the passwords to set this up for me. And it was rough, y'all. And it caused so many issues. Then I had to immediately just find somebody quick to do my taxes, and it wasn't all set up correctly. And so for the past several years, every person that I've hired to make it better, it's just been a mess. And so it's been rough. And I finally found somebody that's helping me clean it up. They've actually found several $1,000s that I'm going to get back because they're getting it cleaned up and getting it fixed. And I'm so grateful for that. So we're on the up and up. And I've been praying about this. And in my prayers, God has said, yeah, I can't give you more until you get order in what you have, and I will help you. And so that's been my prayer is, Lord, bring me people that can help me and guide me and people that I can trust. And so last week, I was in a situation where I needed to get some things cleaned up in my account before the tax person could go in for the end of the year and make some tax recommendations, that kind of entrepreneurial stuff. And throughout that process, the amount of opposition and warfare that I faced, my computer has never crashed since I've had it. And I've had it for, 10 years. And in the middle of merging two accounts in my accounting software, my computer shuts down. So I lose all of this transfer. Then I have to manually download a bunch of stuff because it's just gone. And even the people in the help desk are like, we've never seen this before. It's just crazy stuff. And I sound crazy unless you know how this stuff works. And you're like, if you have opposition, it means you're worthy of being fought. So I'm just trying to keep my head straight about all of it because I know what it is, but I know I have to get this stuff fixed. And so I worked on it for 2 solid days, like literally sitting at my laptop, putting files together, adding things that got lost, trying to get it figured out. And I'm almost there. Like I only got a couple more months to get done. And all of a sudden, a bunch of money from transactions from one account just show up in this other account. Like literally, there's no transaction history. It just shows up in this account, which throws it all off again. And now I'm like at my wit's end. So I'm calling into the help desk and they're even like, we've never seen this before. I'm like, yeah, I know. And it was Friday night. And so their help desk is done at, 6 p.m. Eastern or something. And a bunch of this stuff happened right before that time. So I literally have all weekend where I can't work on it because I need somebody to help me. I'm 2 days past my deadline for the tax guy to get the stuff that he needs to help me for my year-end stuff. And the old me would have ruined my whole weekend worrying. And now I just give it to the Lord. I just say, you know what? I know you've got a plan for this, something I don't know and I can't see yet. And I know it's better than I could do on my own. And when I say the old me would have not just worried, the old me would have put a post on LinkedIn and Facebook and literally paid somebody triple time to come over the weekend and fix it. Cause by gosh, I was just not, I got to get it fixed. And I just don't do that anymore because a lot of times me doubling down on something that is not my expertise and I can tell I'm being fought isn't going to be helpful. And so I was pretty worked up about it Friday night, didn't sleep very well Friday night. And then Saturday morning, I was like, you know what? There's not a darn thing I can do about this on Saturday and Sunday. It's the holidays. I'm just going to enjoy my weekend the best I can. Monday comes around. The help desk is going to be back online, right? The first 2 times that I try to access the help desk, I get error messages that I've never seen before. And so I'm like, okay. So I'm just praying. I'm like, Lord, I know you're working behind the scenes. I know you see all this, things that I can't yet see, and I just trust you. So I made myself some coffee and some breakfast and just prayed and just said, okay, I just know the Lord's going to take care of this. I go back and try it again. And this time I get a hold of somebody, but she says, oh, you need to do this and this and this before I can look at it. And it was going to take me a minute. So I was like, I don't want you to have to sit here and wait for me to finish that. I'll call back into the helpline when I get my side done. She was like, sounds great. And something told me to do that. Like in my spirit, I just knew that's what I was supposed to do. I don't know why. And so I did it, got it all done. And then I call back in and the line connects and the person comes onto the phone line and then my phone shuts down. I'm like, okay. So apparently that wasn't the person I was supposed to talk to. And at this point, I'm almost giggling because I'm just like, you know what, Lord, you have to be involved in this because this is just crazy. And then the next person I get on the phone, I knew the moment that I heard her voice that God had sent her to help me. I can't tell you how I knew or why I knew, but I knew. I knew this was it. I say to her, I don't know if you're a Christian, but I need to tell you that I've had some spiritual warfare and there's some things in here that don't make any sense. And I'm just so grateful that your expertise in this is going to be helpful to me today because I need you. And I just felt the atmosphere shift. And do you know that woman stayed on the phone for almost 2 hours with me going through every transaction. And we'd get through a certain point and she'd go, I've never seen this before. And listen, she has 12 years of experience doing this. So I'm not crazy. It wasn't just my ineptness. And then she'd say, okay, but we're not going to get worried about, we're just going to keep moving forward. And I'd be like, oh my gosh. So there was no shame. She never made me feel like an idiot. There was no shame in it all. That's how I knew the Lord was in it. Because the Lord's in it when we're in a problem and there's no shame, there's just honor. And I've done a whole episode on shame and honor versus right and wrong that you can go back and grab. I just felt at peace that she was literally there to help me. And we got all the way through it. And it got to the point where every time something would get completed and we could go to the next, I would like clap my hands and be like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. Like I was so relieved and grateful. And we got to the end of it and I said, can I send you a gift? And she said, no, just fill out the survey, which of course I did and said, give this person a raise. They're amazing. And then at the end, she said, hey, there's one more thing in here that isn't exactly like I'd like it to be. Can I look into this further and then call you back? And I said, of course. Thank you. Above and beyond. Like, she didn't have to do that. And so the next day she emails me and says, hey, I found the solution, but I'm not sure. What do you think about this? And so I emailed her back and said, I trust you. This is out of my scope. And your advice, I trust more than anything. And then I gave her this message. I said, listen, here's how I know the Lord sent you to me. And I just told her what I had experienced and how I knew that she was a blessing to me. And I said, and not only to me, but I have been able to share this story with several of my clients and inspire them to know that prayers for their business are heard for every single detail. And I said, because I've been able to share this story with them, they've been inspired by your story. And so I just want you to know how beautiful this has been. It's not just that my books are clean and that I feel better. It really has been an answered prayer, and I appreciate you. And she responds back, call me. And I call her, and she said, you know how sometimes you just need to know that God's there? And I said, yeah, girl, I do. And she said, your message was an answered prayer, that my work matters and that I was asking him to show me that. And your message did. And so while I was getting answered prayers from her expertise and her willingness to do this kind of work, I was then affirming her that she mattered. You know, I'm always talking about affirmation. And it was this beautiful exchange. And then we started talking. And she goes on to tell me that she leads a women's ministry group, which I have a Bible study here at my house every other week. And just a beautiful human conversation. And it ends up being that she has an accounting business that she does in addition to this support that she provides for the software as part of her job. And she said, if you're interested, I'd like to do your books monthly and help you keep this caught up so that you can focus on what you're good at. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been praying for that for a few months, for the Lord to bring me somebody at the price point that matched, that would pray over my work and my numbers and my finances. And look how that prayer got answered. And that's not something that you can strategize about in your own being and doing to get that kind of answer and that kind of solution. And so I just wanted to share that story with you as you kick off this new year, to know that if you are a prayerful person or you want to be a prayerful person and you're not sure where to start, I'm really hopeful that this book that I'm writing will be a blessing to everyone. And pray over your business in the day-to-day, because he cares just as much about your accounting software as he does about your big 911 needs. And I hope that is inspiring to you as you think about what 2026 has available to you. Because I can promise you that what God has for you is more than you can ask. All right, that's all for today. Anyway, Happy New Year. Love you, Mina. Bye.
I'm not coming down. I never left it on the ground. I'm not coming
Thanks for being here. You can follow us on Instagram, Business is Human, or TikTok, Rebecca Fleetwood Hession. It's a great way to share some of the clips with your colleagues and friends. All right, make it a great day. Love you, mean it.